and welcome to this little video. Tonight we will be doing a tarot reading, soft-spoken style. If you hear any sighs of discontentment or anything like that, that would be my dog here at the foot of the bed taking a little nap. So don't be alarmed if you hear sighs. Yeah, I'm super excited to do this reading, which is for release. No matter when you clicked on this video, there's a reason that you did, I do believe. And the impetus for this video, making this video at this point in time, regardless of when you are accessing the reading, is the upcoming spring equinox, which is a time in which we can take stock of what is no longer serving us, what we want to let go, and what we want to let go of, and what kinds of seeds we want to plant for the coming season. So without further ado, we'll get into it. I'll shuffle the decks, pull the cards, and then let you choose your deck. I'll put the timestamps down below, and then I will see you in whatever pile you choose. So, the first deck we'll be using tonight is the Many Queens Tarot. It's a really beautiful deck. I'll just show you a few images from it. Very inclusive, queer, beautiful, wonderful, contemporary. So, just shuffle to get some cards to describe your current energy, what we want to release. Then I am going to take 3 cards as well from the Poesis Oracle deck, which looks like this. It's really beautiful. Just to create a sort of compass for you. Finally, 1 card from the Supra Oracle deck, which looks like this. For this one, I'll be reading from a book, just because it's very in-depth. So, group 1, set you aside. The second deck we'll be using tonight is 7th Sphere from Labyrinth Ghosts. It is a Marseille deck. So it looks like this. Really beautiful. As with the first deck, just pulling some cards for your current energies, what we want to release. Then again, 3 cards from the Poesis Oracle. Get a kind of compass for you. That one wanted to come out. And finally, there's my dog sign. One of these cards from second deck, setting you aside. The third deck is the Golden Thread Tarot, also from Labyrinthos actually. So here's this gorgeous Ace of Pentacles, just to give you an idea. Asking for cards to show us your current energies, what we want to release as we begin this new time. Okay. 3 cards from the Poesis Oracle to build a kind of internal compass for you. They're just jumping out. And then one from the Supra Oracle for some greater clarity. Okay, so now it is time to choose your group. Group 1. Here is group 1. Many Queens deck. Group 1. Group 2. 7th Sphere. 7th Sphere deck. And group 3. The Golden Thread Tarot. Don't think about it too hard. Just go with wherever you feel drawn. If you feel drawn to more than one, you are, of course, more than welcome to watch more than one reading. This is group 1, group 2, and group 3. Okay. So you can find the timestamps for your group below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, group 1, and welcome to your reading. We will get started with your tarot cards and then move into the oracle decks. Okay. So for your tarot cards here, we have the 8 of Cups, the Hanged Man, and 4 of Cups. I want to start with these 2 cards. These 2 cards are so connected. In the 8 of Cups, we are walking away from something. It is a difficult but necessary departure. There is a kind of invitation to look inward that is a bit reminiscent of the Hermit card. And even though we have much, it's not what we want. Similarly with the 8 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, the universe is trying to hand us something nice, something good, but we are unwilling to take it. We already have 3 cups down here. It's unclear whether we are in a moment of contemplation here or one of dismissal, one of closed offness. No matter what, I feel like you are at a turning point right now where in the past at some point you took a look at something you had and something that you were actively working towards and actively accumulating, and it gave you pause for some reason. you did not feel as satisfied by it as you thought you might. Maybe you took time to think about it. Maybe you took a step away, but if you did, the time you took to think wasn't as long as you needed, or the step you took away, you then took back. And you returned to this path, whatever this is for you. Maybe something emotional. If it's not directly emotional, you certainly feel emotionally about it. It's something that is connected to your heart. And it looked good enough, so you kept going forward, and there's no blame in that. But then you reached another point in your journey on the same path. You had gone further, and you took a good look. You took the time you need to think, or you took the step back and you said, you know what, I need to keep going this new way. I need to keep taking a step back. This is either happening to you now, or is the direction forward is exactly what you need to release. There's something that you've been pursuing that holds value. It's not for naught. It's not in vain. It does hold value, but it maybe doesn't hold the value that you value. It might be someone else's values. It might be something you thought you valued more than you do. So you're at a unique point here where you have an opportunity to really take a new path, take space, and find some clarity inside yourself, away from all the noise. And I think that is speaking also to the Hanged Man here. We have this card is a lovely card. It's a card in which we are invited to see things from a new perspective. It is also a card of delays. But don't worry. Delays, I think often we have resistance to delays in our culture in this day. That makes sense. But delays are good and can help. Delays give us time to become prepared for whatever is coming next, or to be ready for the good thing that is on its way. And so they also benefit us. And yeah, the Hanged Man is delayed, is in stasis, but seeing things from a new perspective, perhaps what you need now that you've arrived here, perhaps what we're looking for here. This point of reflection will be one inspired by the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man also, although this is a somewhat uncomfortable position, is not really uncomfortable. They are able to tap into an inner quiet, an inner knowing, a groundedness, a centeredness, and sit through this moment of discomfort or uncertainty for their own greater good. So yeah, there's something that needs reevaluation. You had that moment of doubt before. It's returned to you. You're listening to it now, and that alone is something to celebrate's a strong word, but to commend yourself on. And then it's important that you accept this delay. It's okay. The reason you got here from here is because for whatever reason you weren't willing to sit through this delay, or really think on it, really sit on it, sit with it. And it got you further, but on the wrong path, you know? And there are many ways up the mountain. It's not like this is lost time. It's not. You've learned things here. and yet you're on this path that you don't really feel fulfilled by, and so we will be accessing this energy here, the Hanged Man, to really digest it. So delays, reflection, discerning what you value, and then acting in accordance with that is what we can look forward to. Alright, and then oracle cards. We have mind, like this. We have change, like this, and boundary. So I think definitely have a change. We're in a moment of rest, of digestion, of stasis with the Hanged Man, but this is so clearly a change. We're walking away from something, making this difficult departure so that we can become more fully realized. And kind of what I've been trying to communicate to you, the energy is like this. The energy is the turning of a page. It's exciting. This is a part of your journey, a part of your story. And now you get to turn another page and see what else is in store for you. Boundary, I think, is speaking to our sweet Eight of Cups here, where we are choosing to take a different action in a different direction, drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, this isn't for me, and I'm not willing to continue. And then we have mind. There are moments of contemplation here, right? So we have here Hanged Man in upside down contemplation, nothing to do but contemplate. We have this figure here sitting under a tree, thinking, meditating, or just sitting, thinking about disappointment, really, but thinking. And here, I don't feel that you're thinking, but the action is one towards thought. Especially in the Rider-Waite depiction of this card, the figure is moving away up a path. They look very much like the Hermit, and it's to take a step back and to think by yourself and get clarity. So there's a lot happening in your mind here, even though we're dealing with 2 Cups cards, Minor Arcana, which is more emotional based. So another word I would give about this card is one of caution, maybe. It's important to think, to contemplate. That's exactly what we want to access from this card, the Hanged Man. However, there are some things that you can't think your way out of, particularly when it comes to emotional matters, questions of fulfillment, satisfaction. Yes, think, contemplate, ruminate, but don't fixate, and think only as much as is serving you. I think it's really important to not get dizzy in our minds with our thoughts. Some things, the solution is not meant to be thought of. The solution is meant to be felt from a centered place or from a new perspective, a new understanding. So that's just something to keep in mind going forward. And then for Supra, you have release. Could not be more on the nose. So let me read to you what it says here about release. But first, I have to find it in the table of contents. Okay. Alright. Release. Unfolding, relaxing, easing into the moment before us, releases the frantic grip of time. Yes, that's like Hanged Man energy for me. the past and the future are always trying to influence our thoughts by pulling us away from ourselves and from the present. Making space for the moment requires releasing your burdens for needed rest. Yes, this brings an abundance of yourself to you and widens out the space around you, strengthening with the cool, lasting breeze of eternity that lifts you into a force of nature. Oh, beautiful. Mighty, present, salvation, freedom, courage. So, all of that obviously is encompassed in this beautiful card. I think we have some of the courage coming through in our cups cards here. This is courageous, this is brave, and some presence and some freedom in the Hanged Man. Doesn't look like freedom, but it is in fact. And this quiet power is mighty. So let me know what resonated with you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'll talk to you very soon. And until then, good night, good night, good night. Hey group 2, welcome to your reading. So happy to have you here. So we are working with the 7th sphere deck today. We're going to start with your tarot cards and then move to your oracle cards. As I mentioned at the top of the video, the reading is about release, about what we want to let go of, what seeds we want to plant, moving into this new season. So, for your tarot cards, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the 7 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands. I'm going to start with the Wheel of Fortune. This is a card about fortune, about fate. It's an ancient symbol of karma, inevitable karma, inevitable fate. And also the cyclical nature of things. Change is the only constant, of course, but you are in a particular moment of change. Something is coming back to you. There's a sense of wanting to control it. I think what we're going to be releasing is our sense of control, or our desire to control. We have a tight grip on something here. The force of this wheel is beyond human scale. You cannot control this. Sometimes it's karmic, sometimes it's just seasonal, cyclical change. Change is the only constant, no matter what you do, change. And that can be scary sometimes. We like to have control because control gives us an illusion that we can master our fear, but in fact, mastering it in that way through control is not real mastery. It's a kind of domination of it. Traditionally, or typically, with the 7 of Swords, we see a figure running away with 5 swords, carrying 5 swords behind him, like he doesn't want to get caught. And his body's facing like 3 different directions. He's looking over his shoulder, his torso is facing us, and his legs are going forward. So, there's some kind of refusal of acceptance here, and it could be that in trying to control what change is coming for you, you try to take a shortcut, or you tried to twist things a little bit, hoping that no one would find out. And I'm not here to say whether they have or haven't found out. If they don't find out, it doesn't matter. If they do, there's definitely a risk, and there is some price to pay there. We also have the Four of Wands, which is a card of home, of real belonging, celebration or belonging. People who accept you as you are, good and bad, and a place that you are not beholden to. It just accepts you with open arms. You can come and go as you please, and like you are seen and known there. So another thing about this kind of change is that when you stand on the outside of this wheel, these changes feel crazy. There's my dog. You get like car sick, nauseous, achy. It's too much. It really wrecks you. It's nauseating and dizzying and not good for you. Whereas if you stand in the center of this wheel as it's turning, not only are you able to ride out the changes, the cycles, the spinning of this wheel more sustainably, with more grace, with more like you're centered, so you feel better, you feel less rocked, and you feel less rocked. And it's almost like a good energy that would be running through your feet. There's like this hum, this whirring of the wheel, and you aren't getting sick from it, but you feel the energy of it, and it's channeled through you towards movement in a more sustainable and more it's not aligned, what do I want to say, like a more useful way. So I think I'm being called to say, like, there's something happening here, some pull towards standing at the edge of this wheel. It has to do with subterfuge, with dishonesty or deception, seeing what you can get away with, maybe a desire to take a shortcut, none of which is per se bad, but it does come with risk, and if that risk, if is made good on, it comes with a price. It might be that you feel that being dishonest is the only way to reach your goals or your ambitions. There's a good reason that you're feeling this way, and it might not be serving you. Whereas I feel like this Four of Wands card is standing at the center of this wheel, riding out change, feeling grounded and feeling held. I think the cards are showing you that there's two ways to go about riding out this change, this fated, inevitable change. One is to try to control it, work really hard, possibly, although not definitely, pay some kind of price. Another is to stand in the center of the circle, in the wheel, ride it out in a place where you feel seen, where you feel acknowledged and respected for both what you do and don't bring to the table. What you don't bring to the table is not a flaw, it's a feature. We all have certain qualities that we do not possess, for the very fact that the lack of possession of that quality leaves space for the possession of another one. So finding this home base, standing there, rooting there, is going to make this so much easier for you. And what we might want to release is this pull towards trying to control it, trying to twist things to our favor. You can certainly go this way, but it will make you feel rocked a bit. So, okay. Oasis Oracle cards. We have Wish, we have Trust, and we have Great. I feel like something, whatever this is for you, it's a deep desire. There's a deeply rooted ambition here. It's not just ambition for ambition's sake, but rather a long-term goal, something really heartfelt, and that's why it feels like so much is at stake. You want it deeply, and it may be creative, strictly creative, like sculpting, dancing, painting, writing, filming, molding. It could, there's lots of ways to be creative. Creating a business, finding a creative solution to a family problem, a social problem, whatever it is. It's creative. You're looking for an innovative strategy, perhaps, and it's something that you desire deeply. And I think most importantly, we have this card here, Trust, which is as things keep moving, keep unfolding, trust that they are unfolding in your favor. Delays, setbacks, negative consequences either are all there to direct you towards what is for you. What is for you won't pass you by, and you will gain so much from trusting this process, letting things unfold, and feeling bound by that, even like bound by that promise of trust to the godlike, spirit-like, beyond us energy that keeps everything in flux. There's a real beauty to it, and it's so much better for you if you can learn to trust it and ride things out in the center, ground in some kind of home space. Okay, and then the Supra Oracle deck, we have the Moon card. Very interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be similar to the Moon card in Tarot, in which case it might deal with something related to illusion. We will see. Moon, page 37. Okay. Moon. Timeless, serene, powerful, fascinating, and austere. The moon is a hermit that has circled the earth on its own path, radiating an unbroken purity from an ancient guard. From our world, its shape fits perfectly in our eye, a primary form whose cosmic light gently comes and goes, pulling with it our thoughts, emotions, pleasures, and uncertainties, both our inner and outer tides. This intimate relationship has a sense of the predestined. We could not be here if the moon were not there, and its gentle yet powerful intervening in our life reaffirms this shared destiny. In our sleep, this protective old guard hangs over us, casting its transcendental light upon the earth, beckoning our minds to the spiritual dimension where it awakens and excites the unconscious, gently coaxing it down the divine primeval path toward the superhuman. Astral, nocturnal, impassioned, providential, ancient. This for me is like 100% this card. and what I said before stands, where you are so, the stakes feel very high to you for whatever this change is, and for good reason. That's showing you where to direct your attention, and at the same time, things are going to continue to change beyond your control. My dog is sighing. As the wheel turns and as the moon pulls the tides in and out, it's a part of life. It will serve you. It is serving you. And all you have to do is release the illusion of control you have over it, whatever method that has manifested as. You can just let it go. Let me know below what resonated with you. This is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you very soon, and until then, good night. Good night. Good night. Hey, group 3, welcome to your reading. As you probably heard in the beginning of the video, this is a reading about release, what we want to let go of, what's not serving us anymore, and seeds we might want to plant moving forward. So, your tarot cards are the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, and the Magician. So, I want to start with this card. The 3 of Swords is a card of heartbreak, of betrayal sometimes, sadness, very felt sadness in the way like warps your day kind of emotion that you are trying to process. And it's a multifaceted emotion that you're feeling. You might be feeling sadness or anger. I think my dog is going under the bed. Sadness or anger, frustration, confusion, any combination of those. But it's quite complex what's happening for you. Something happened against you in a way that you were not prepared for, not desiring, and this is what you are digesting right now. I think these cards speak a little bit to how we can release it and let go. So the 9 of Wands is a card where you're almost there, like you're so close to the finish line and you are battle worn. In the Rider-Waite depiction, you have a bandage and you have seen some shit, but you are stronger for it. You've learned from your mistakes, from your trials, from your hardships. And I think all of that applies. I also think, looking at this version of this card, there's another way to interpret it that might serve you even more. Both things are true, but I'll focus on this interpretation, which is, it's, 9 wands or 8 wands, a hole through which someone could walk. And so there is this interpretation of the 9 of Wands as a card where you're placing a boundary and someone is standing guard. It's a somewhat porous boundary because there is a space through which you could walk. Someone's standing guard, however. And I think that's so interesting looking at this card, because if we're taking the boundary interpretation, this card is an even more rigid boundary. I think rigid boundaries don't always serve. They can make us tight, like clenched. However, in this case, whatever we're working on here, whatever we're digesting and transmuting here, I think that a firm boundary will serve you well. There's some boundary you need to set to get over this hurdle. Whatever this was, heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, like deep disappointment. There's a boundary you can set that will free you from some of it. And I'll highlight here too as well, boundaries are agreements you make with yourself. You don't need anyone's permission to set them. You don't need anyone's cooperation to set them. A boundary is something, an agreement you make with yourself, where you say, if this, then this is what I'll do. I don't want this, and if it's coming my way, I will do this. I only do this at this time. I don't do this at this time. I don't X with so-and-so. I don't Y with so-and-so. You decide what you do and don't want to give, when and where you want to give it, if at all. It's your choice, and you don't need anyone's permission to set a boundary. It's something that you decide for yourself and follow through by yourself, for yourself, as a way to respect your needs. So I would say that this card is a great invitation to think on that. And then of course we have the Magician card. This is such a beautiful card because you are so capable. It's unreal. Maybe you already know this, maybe you don't. But you're so capable. You have all the tools you need to do what you need to do. There's a kind of assuredness in you, a competence, and a spark that draws people to you. They think you're capable of magic, and you are. What they don't see is that there's work behind some of the magic you pull off, like setting a boundary makes you look strong, and you are, but you did the work of setting a boundary, for example. Whatever happened here, heartbreak, this is what we're releasing, and this is how we're doing it. Setting boundaries, knowing that even though this feels like a setback, you've learned so much, you've gained so much wisdom from it, and it's made you stronger, and it's a great time to set a boundary, to protect yourself a little bit, or to keep some of your energy for yourself. And this is going to be like magic for you. This is going to be a great tool for you. You are going to be able to make what you want with the energy and the wisdom you get from this. There's a lot of possibility for you looking ahead. And yeah, just trust yourself to take care of yourself, particularly your future self. The self you're becoming can take care of themselves for sure. So then, oracle cards. Compassion. We have heal. And we have noise. Compassion and heal, I think, are self-explanatory. We're healing this wound. And again, not that everything makes us stronger. Sometimes things just hurt. But whatever's let go of here is making room for something new and better. And this card is a heart opener too. Like, It hurts, but it opens your heart and lets a little light in, and it softens you in a way that actually makes you stronger. So we're definitely healing from this and showing ourselves compassion, I think, more than anyone else. Using compassion as our lodestar. My dog agrees. Using compassion as our lodestar. This is your lodestar, your North Star. You're following compassion. If you act from compassion, you won't get lost. And it's definitely like the balm you need. We're healing, saging ourselves, really just washing from ourselves this harm, this hurt. As for noise, sometimes when we're trying to heal from something, it can be made more difficult by the surrounding noise, the noise that results from this, or just noise that's kind of extraneous in the environment, people's opinions, people's advice, anything that doesn't resonate with you. It would do you a lot of good, a world of good to let it go. Anything that doesn't resonate with you, anything, absolutely anything, including this video if you want, that anything that's not ringing a bell with you, like in your heart, you can let it go. It's just noise and it's confusing your clarity. Set a boundary to ignore it. We don't need other people's opinions that aren't serving us, other people's thoughts, expectations. We don't need their interpretations if it's just noise. If it's noise, you don't have to listen to it. Shut it out so that you can create the space and calm you need to get the clarity you need to move past this and really access your magical potential. Our super card is intuition. So I'll read from the book for this one. Intuition 67. Intuition is how we encounter the bottomless secrets of life that our minds, in their unconscious wanderings, suddenly stumble over. Unexplainable, hidden passions of the invisible well up within us, giving a glimpse into the far-off, lifting sky. Wordless, intimate premonitions heighten our awareness of being. Between these fluid, transitional boundaries of nature, the dream blends with reality, elevating the ephemera of each, whispering to us in the magical language of truth. Possibility, vision, premonition. Possibility, vision, premonition. So I feel like it's speaking to your capability, your competence to do anything with this energy. You are communicating between the above and the below, right? You are merging them. There's a sort of spiritual conduit element of this card. It is very of earth in the material world, making things happen, but you can see how he's holding the wand there, or she, like a spiritual conduit. And I think that's another access point for you, is tapping into that aspect, saying a prayer, whatever a prayer looks like for you, and listening for the response, even if including or maybe definitely, if the response is something that comes from within and that is intuitively brought up from you, from your own wisdom, you know best how to heal yourself and what you need, and tamping out some of this noise is also how you can access your intuition, which is yet another tool in your toolbox. So that is your reading. Let me know what resonated for you down below. I'll talk to you very soon, and until then, good night. Good night.